I like Ian Watson like a tight space marine butt.
Welcome, everybody, to episode 3 of the 40k Badcast. My name is Dan Boyd. That guy's name is Campbell McLaughlin, and we are your hosts, and we're bad at 40k. You can too. Here's how. Campbell, what's up, you beautiful, beautiful man?
What's up with me? I've been having a good time playing a few games of 30k, 40k, and Age of Sigmar. Painting some Spacemans, building some Spacemans, sending pictures of miscast Spacemans back to Games Workshop so I can get free Spacemans in return. It's a good hammy time.
Dude, you're killing it, man.
Yeah, I'm firing on all cylinders here.
In the last 2 weeks since our last show, I have done jack fucking shit for 40k. I've painted 6 Blood Bowl guys, and I'm not even fucking done with them yet. I'm mostly done with them. But that's it. I haven't done any fucking 40k. I haven't played, I haven't even sniffed it.
Well, let's get through your stuff first, because I've got a lot more to talk about as for what I've been up to. What kind of Blood Bowl team have you been painting? Were they the Orc guys you were talking about last time,
Yes.
or humans, or something else?
Yeah, so it's the Orc Blood Bowl team that comes in the boxed Blood Bowl set, which is really good models. And I'm painting them, and they got a lot of detail on them. They got cool poses. They got a lot of cool things going on, much better than the old Blood Bowl models that we've been used to for a long time. So I'm really enjoying it. I'm painting them yellow. I've never painted yellow on a lot of larger models like this before. I've painted a million Guardsmen yellow. My Armageddon Steel Legion has that ochre color. But those guys are so easy to paint. These orcs are a lot cooler, a lot of great detail. I haven't had a ton of time for painting because of life things, but I'm making progress. I'm trying to get my hour a night in. It's coming together. And this is the first time I've ever painted orcs, so I'm trying to take my time and make them look real nice at the end of it.
I mean, you only got like 8 to 10 guys or whatever for a team, so you better make them look good.
Well, you need
Like
11,
dozen,
so 8 to 10 won't cut it, Campbell.
Sorry, I'm thinking Necromunda.
And you want some extras too. So this team's I'm probably going to do all 16,
All right.
and then not use all 16 whenever I do play. But whatever, it'll be all right. So you say you're working on a ton of stuff. What are you working on?
So I got a little bit caught up with the Gathering Storm stuff, and a little caught up with how much I fucking hate Psychers.
Hold up. Can you help me, because I'm dumb and I don't know how to read? Can you help me by telling me what is happening with the Gathering Storm fluff wise?
So Jesus, I'm like high level stuff is.
We don't want to get too much into it.
Yeah.
Just give me the ballparker for me, please.
All right. It's the 13th Black Crusade, if you remember that from the third edition, where Abaddon.
It's been going on for a while.
Yeah, no, it went on for so long. They finished it, and then they rolled it back, and they started it again.
Nice.
So Eldrad's not dead yet, apparently, but it's basically the first step towards kind of a
that guy's got more lives than a fucking
thing.
cat, dude.
But yeah, no, this time apparently Abaddon actually did his job and wrecked Cadia. So a bunch of major characters.
Cadia is Dunzo, right?
Yeah, Cadia straight up Dunyan rings. A bunch of major characters were fighting on the surface, and I think they all survived. I know, Winston Churchill, Creed, he basically got collected by Trey's in the Infinite. He caught him in his little Pokeball, and he kept him to bring out at a later time. Yeah, so I'm glad they didn't kill him.
Okay, cool.
I always liked that guy. But so Cadia's fallen, although the official byline is everything is fine. It was an expendable planet anyway.
I've seen the regimental standard on that, and it was really funny. And listeners, if you haven't looked at regimental standard yet, go there, pause the podcast, go to your computer, look up regimental standard. It's the most hilarious thing Games Workshop is doing right now.
What started as just reprinting articles from the Imperial Infantryman's Uplifting Primer became all this ridiculous original content that's goddamn hilarious.
Are you saying primer or primer? I say primer.
I think it's primer because that's like what I think it's something I just remember from fucking studying Protestants in high school. But yeah, so primer, however you want to call it. But anyway, the site has original art, original jokes, all kinds of good stuff. It's got that kind of sardonic, dark sense of humor that 40k used to have, but you don't really see that much anymore in the codexes and such. So it's definitely worth checking out for that.
The thing that brought me there was a picture of a guardsman and a knight titan giving each other a thumbs up.
That's my favorite thing. That's exactly what I was thinking about.
And I will include that in the show notes.
40k robot jocks, I'm all about it.
Okay, so please continue with the Gathering Storm.
So, well, now we're on to like Gathering Storm 2, which is where Eldar stuff is happening. Basically, the Eldar are giving birth to a new Eldar death god, Iniad. I think it's Iniad, to fight Slaanesh.
That didn't really work out the last time they gave birth to a god, did it?
No, it was just a big party. It worked out great.
Partied so hard, they all died.
And gave birth to a pleasure goddess. What kind
of party? Yeah,
that's what my parties are like.
Okay, so you've been doing a lot of stuff too on with your 30K, with your 40K. What's going on? Tell me about your modeling and painting.
So painting wise, I'm just going hard in Black Templars. A few of them were messing up with a bunch of the old bits and like some new kits I got for real cheap and just leftover bits I've got. I got some of the Sword Brethren. Some of them are a little fucked up because they're fine cast models, but I've got replacements on the way already, which is pretty cool. Most of them came out pretty decent, except for one dude who's got like a slip mold and his face is all melty. So I just sent a text of him to a buddy of mine just with the title because that quoted to Brother McMelty Face M39. But yeah. So that's going pretty well.
You gotta send me that too, man.
I will. It's bad. And then I looked at the other one I've gotten. It's the same fucking thing. So that guy's getting a helmet. But yeah, so I played a pair of Age of Sigmar games with my dad. He was like, so this game you're playing, it's like fantasy game. Would I be able to play with my old fantasy and historical figures? And I said, yeah, sure. Here's a bunch of the old army lists. And he brought out a bunch of his like minifigs from the 70s of, dudes with spears and shields and all that stuff. And he found analogs for Bretonians, I think. And we had a pair of really fun games.
That sounds like a ton of fun.
Yeah, it was a great time. And then I also played. The only thing I ever do with
my dad is have him tell me how disappointed he is in me.
That's too sad for me to ever reply to.
All right, please. Sorry, continue.
But yeah, no, it was a good time. We got barbecue in between games. It was great games. But I missed playing this last time. I was playing with a dude I met at the local Games Workshop store here. His name's Chris. He has an Emperor's Children army, which is wonderfully painted, and we played a 1,000 point game against each other because we're in a sort of escalation league.
Is this 30K or 40K?
30K. Ooh. So I brought my 30K Ultras, and Guy is actually writing fluff for every game in the group, which was really neat. And basically it said that the Emperor's Children are raiding against a an Ultramarine elite, like small task force. So he took a pretty normal army, and I thought, what kind of dumb gimmick army can I take to make it seem like an elite task force? So in 1,000 points, I had 13 models, 10 Terminators, one Praetor, and 2 Contemptor Dreadnoughts. One was like the slightly shittier kind of Dreadnought. And you'll be happy to know I fucking crushed those Emperor's Children.
Fuck yeah!
It was. I basically I saw he had like one unit that could really do a lot of damage, and I shot them up. And then he had the dude with the Skrillex haircut jumping around with his Thunderhammer. And
is that Eidolon?
Yes,
fucking Eidolon. That guy's such a tool.
He knocked the one of the arms off my Contemptor, and my Contemptor got him with the other one. Yeah. And Chris was a wonderful host and absolutely gracious opponent. We've gone 2 games now, and I've beat him pretty bad in both. I'm feeling he's going to come back in the next one we play together.
Too bad he's a fucking fuckboy with his stupid Emperor's Children.
Too bad he's a dirty heretic.
Yeah. Sucks for him.
Sucks for him. But that's what's been going on with me and my gaming and painting, all that.
Okay, so let's move on to the Auspex, which of course is things on our radar in the hobby. Mm-hmm. Now, there is a new, totally copyrightable name for a faction out there, the Eldari, spelled with an A in front of the E, or Eldari. Yeah, I like to say Eldari because Eldari sounds like a bunch of drunk dudes, which, it might even be cooler.
I'd like a pub crawl across the stars.
So with the reveal of the new faction name for the Eldar, the Eldari, comes some new Eldar models. And these run the gamut for me. These run the gamut from super cool to what the fuck. I'm gonna start with super cool, and we're gonna go. I want to go super cool, kind of cool, and what the fuck. Super cool, the Visarch. This mysterious-looking aspect warrior in deep crimson armor with a bunch of spiky shit all over it. Looks real mean. He's got kind of a static pose, just sort of standing there, but it's real menacing.
Yeah, he looks somewhere between like a Dark Eldar Incubi and a dude from Dark Souls. I like that guy a lot. He's cool. He's my kind of Eldar.
I love the Dark Eldar Incubi models. I love the old ones. I love the current ones. And he has a very, very similar look to the Dark Eldar Incubi, and I was really, really impressed by his model.
Seems like he could.
Go ahead.
I was about to say he seems like he could be the Phoenix Lord equivalent for Incubi.
Ooh, that would be cool. Isn't that Drazar though?
No, I don't know who's the dude with the dumb mantis talons.
Drazar.
Is that Drazar?
Yeah.
Maybe it is.
Man.
That guy's goofy.
All right, listeners, if you know anything about Drazar and want to fucking put us right in to contact at 40kbadcast.com.
Ooh,
All right,
nice,
so
nice plug.
The kind of cool model, which I actually think is a cool model that could use some tweaks, is the Avatar of Iniad.
Oh, okay. You're kind of cool in my what the fucker switch then.
Oh, here we go. So I like this model. I think the central character in the middle is a really cool, almost solitaire, almost Slaaneshi demon looking guy, surrounded by what I think is a little bit much just crap, but flashy crap on the outside of the model, and what some people have coined the psychic jizz storm.
It's very emphatic. I can feel it.
That one. Yeah, but I think it's a cool model. I like the whole mutated look to the avatar. I like the whole the solitaire thing. The solitaire is supposed to represent Slaanesh in the Harlequin troop, and I like the fact that he looks like Slaanesh.
Yeah, he also looks like there's art in Rogue Trader of a solitaire, and it is in that exact same pose.
Oh, I did see that comparison. I thought that was really cool. Also, I think it's a cool model. I think they overdid it with the extra crap flying around, but I think it's a cool model.
I also think them holding like the little icon of themselves is kind of what's the right term? Narcissistic. It's like carrying around your own logo. Yeah, just carrying around your own logo just so you can show it off to people.
Hey, man, I mean, when you got a cool logo.
That's true. No, you paid a graphic designer for that logo. You're going to use it as much as you can.
You might as well.
I do think it's a wonderfully sculpted mini, though.
Okay, and then we go to the what the fuck model. I believe her name is Wherein.
Yeah, she's kind of like, a lot of people are thinking she's Lady Malice from the old Dark Eldar Codex, which she seems close enough to me. I think she looks like 90s goth Marie Antoinette with a cool psychic kitty. And I'm into all of those things, so I think she's dope. I think her headdress is a little much, but everything else I'm all over.
I like how they're getting a little bit experimental with the models and the design of the models. And like I said with the Avatar of Iniad, it's a little much, but with Wherein, the big dress, the big headdress, sort of just like looking around like she's walking into a court function with her pet cat dog kind of situation happening. Like, I don't know, man. It's kind of static. There's not a whole lot of cool stuff on the model, and the headdress just kind of sucks.
The headdress does kind of suck. I will agree with you there. But I don't know. She's got like the cool belt with all the little charms on it. She's got the weird like finger glove, toe glove type thing, and like the kitty's awesome.
She's carrying a husk blade, which
she got a cool sword.
I love it when they mix the Dark Eldar and the Eldar stuff.
Yeah, some people don't. I like it. I think chocolate and peanut butter can go pretty wonderfully together.
If we're moving towards Grand Alliance Eldar or Grand Alliance Eldari, I think it's a good thing. I know a lot of people, specifically on the Something Awful forums, are getting real mad about it.
But I get mad about anything.
But I think that's a good thing, and I'm excited to see where they go. All right, I got one more thing on the Auspex for me.
Shoot.
And it's Gangs of Gamorra.
Oh, yeah.
I am
Speaking of Eldar,
going to Games Workshop tomorrow, and I'm going to pick it up because it's got RPG elements in a tabletop setting, and I'm going to give it a shot. I think it could be a ton of fun. I've never painted Dark Eldar before. I would like to try. I'd like to take my hand and instead of painting drab colors for my Imperial Guard, I wouldn't mind painting some like bright and vibrant purples and reds and greens and give these Dark Eldar a lot of character.
Yeah.
I'm excited for it.
I mean, they're some of the best minis GW's ever made. The price is right. Like, the price is damn good in that box set.
$60 is pretty darn good. $60 American, that is. No, I want to play Necromunda on fucking jet bikes in Gamorra with some fucking Dark Eldar dudes. I want to do it. I think it looks like a ton of fun.
And some tiny-ass card terrain.
Tiny card terrain that everybody loves to hate.
I will say, it's a little disappointing. I was hoping for something a little more than, like, the equivalent of a 6-foot-tall piece of cardboard, but
I don't know, man. I think they're modeling this game kind of off the success that X-Wing has had with this type of maneuvers, and I've seen those little templates and stuff that come with the game. And that game has no terrain.
Yeah, and it does. Well, it can. I mean, I've seen it with terrain, but yeah, it doesn't need terrain.
X-Wing, man. It makes me mad.
Wangs.
Models are already painted.
Mm-hmm.
Bunch of bullshit card terrain.
Yeah.
Lazy assholes.
Hey, Gale Force 9 makes I'm loath to mention them because they're shitty customer service, but they make some pretty cool like blaster turret type things for a Death Star type run, and you can always paint the models yourself. I know a few guys over on
I've actually
something
seen
doing that.
Some guys that do that, and they do a really good job. My friend Tony, who did he did the Imperial Assault at Nova last year. He ran Imperial Assault. He's painted some of the X-wing fighters in his own way, and it's really really good stuff. All right, so before we move on to the meat and potatoes of our podcast, Campbell, I believe you have a prepared statement to make.
I do. Give me one moment.
And this is, of course, in regard to your horrible pronunciation of a very simple word last week. But please.
So, I have a prepared statement. I would like to apologize to anyone I may have offended with my statements last episode. In our segment covering orcs, I talked at length about flash gits, in which I pronounced git with a soft G. I am aware that many of our dear listeners were outraged by my blatant disrespect of the English language, and I am working to improve my moral character to be the podcast co-host you all want me to be. Again, I am deeply sorry, and I pray that we can all move past this going forward. Thank you.
And with that act of contrition, I declare you atoned.
Thank you.
Okay, so we were talking before the show via Gmail about a couple of interesting topics that were brought up in the Something Awful thread for 40k today. But before we get into that, I want to talk about a very easy way to get started, to get into this hobby, and a way to have a ton of fun without too much work, without a ton of models, and it's Kill Team. I've played Kill Team a whole bunch. I love it. It is a great time to spend, 30 to 45 minutes with a buddy, just rolling out like, I got these 10 models here. You got yours? Let's go. Let's give it a shot. Mm-hmm. A really cool way to scale down 40k and have a lot of fun in a short amount of time.
Yeah, when the game is only about 200 points, not only does every model matter, but you also but it has a lot more restrictions, so you won't see things that people typically complain about in 40k. So no proliferation of knights, no demon summoning, no formations, none of that shit. Just
no Death Stars.
Yeah. The best Death Star you can do is like Hounds of Corn or a biker squad or something like that. It's a lot more focused, and every die roll matters. So when you are rolling in a game of 40k, some people are saying that it's like, I have my bolter, it's twin linked, and it has shred, and you have this save, but you also have feel no pain. It can be like 6 rolls before one guy takes a wound. When you've got dozens of those going on per turn, it can be really tiring. But when it's just like one guy, and you're just rolling a die or two for each guy, and if the guy's dead, he's dead, and that guy represents like a sixth of your army or something like that, there's a lot more at stake. It feels a lot more personal. So there's a lot more opportunity for narrative.
Let's back up a little bit and talk about the difference between regular Warhammer 40k and Kill Team to the uninitiated. Kill Team is a scaled down version of 40k using a lot fewer models at lower points values, and the models get to act independently instead of as squads. So if you think of 40k as like a company level battle in the future, Kill Team is a squad level battle in the future. Mm-hmm. There are a bunch of restrictions on what you can and cannot take in Kill Team. I believe that you cannot take models with more than 3 wounds, correct?
I think it's 2 wounds.
More than 2 wounds. You can't take models with 2 up saves, right?
Nope.
You can't take psychers, right?
You can, but they can't be summoning psychers.
Okay. You can't take vehicles with a certain amount of armor.
If it's over 32. So the strongest vehicle you'll see is a Rhino or a Chimera.
So it's much more scaled down, much more simple thing. And I play Imperial Guard as my main army. And let me tell you something, listeners. Imperial Guard fucking rule at Kill Team.
They can kind of break Kill Team once you get to a certain point.
Yeah, they can, because you're like, oh, fuck it. I got 40 models.
Yeah.
I have 4 infantry squads. I all got las guns, but fuck you. Try to kill all of them.
Oh, there's a kid at my
How many
local game
bikers
store.
do you have? 5? Cool, man. I got 40.
There's a kid at my local game store who took like 2 infantry squads and a command squad and then like a conscript platoon. And it was like, cool, you've got like 60 miles on the table and no one can do anything against you, and no one wants to play against you.
It's the best way
and
to
then this kid just thought he was like King of Shit Mountain, and one dude had his whole army was just a Blood Angel command squad.
Yeah.
He fucking tabled him. It was amazing.
Oh, did they all have flamers?
They had flamers and they charged in, and like all the dudes just retreated and got overrun. It was fantastic.
Yes.
I don't usually like applaud a grown man beating a child into the dirt, but the kid was smug as hell and he needed to be knocked down a peg.
That's amazing. I love it. I love it. I love using the. Oh, I love my Imperial Guard, so I just love using the Imperial Guard way of winning, which is throw men at the problem. I usually don't go for just naked lasguns on everybody. I like to bring in a command squad with a couple of special weapons and maybe a couple of flamers on some infantry squads.
Oh yes,
it's a ton of fun. It's a great way. It's a great way to get introduced to the game too.
Oh yeah,
when you've just started collecting and you've only got a few models put together, a few models painted, it's really cool to get out there, and it's so easy to run a kill team game with all fully painted models.
Oh yeah, and like also if you already have another army and you're like, I want to add these guys as an allied detachment, but I kind of want to get to know what they're like first, you can just be like, okay, I'll buy one box of, let's just say, Dark Eldar and make a kill team out of those guys, and then if you like painting them and building them, then you can go, okay, cool, I'll make more of a force of these guys. It's kind of like a demo for an army if you want it to be.
Right.
Or if you already have an army, you can just take a handful of models and there you go. Like with my preferred kill team is 5 Stern Guard and a Razorback. With a Lascan on it, because the Lascan will kill literally anything in that you'll see in Kill Team, and the 5 Stern Guard have that combination of firepower and versatility, which when put in the Razorback makes them pretty damn durable. And yeah, it makes sense for an elite Space Marine force to just be rolling around one tough little tank.
So I actually have a similar favorite kill team to take, which is a veteran squad and a Chimera.
There you go.
You take a unit of Imperial Guard vets, throw in a Commissar, maybe even an Astropath.
Ooh.
For that sweet telepathic discipline, which you really want for the not Mind War. What are they calling it now?
Was it for Prescience?
No,
or Psychic Scream.
Psychic Scream. There we go. Psychic Scream. Psychic Scream is extremely powerful in Kill Team.
Extremely powerful, if you will.
Ooh, very nice.
Rolling hot here.
Very nice. Coming in
high five.
Hot. Woo.
Ugh.
That was a self high five, listeners, because we're not in the same room.
We're not in the same zip code.
Not even in the same state. So I like that kill team because it's thematic, it's flavorful. You got your veterans maybe inserting into a very dangerous battlefield on their own, behind enemy lines in their trusty Chimera that gets blown up on turn 1.
Hey, in Kill Team, it might last till turn 2.
It might. It won't. Though. Not against your fucking las cannon, it won't.
Not against a fucking las cannon. I will say, though, it really pays to have more terrain in Kill Team than you would in a 40k game of the same size.
Oh, load that fucker up, yeah.
Yeah, you want as much terrain as you can get. So the possible cost savings of not needing as many models can be offset by needing more terrain. But like even my local game store has enough terrain for a decent Kill Team game. And if I just want to jump in there and bring a small little case of 10 guys or whatever, I can get a decent game in like an hour. Yeah,
Kill Team games are great, especially when you combine them with regular 40k. When you've got a campaign going on and there's like, oh, we need to get this one objective, but we don't have time to play a full game, so let's see if we can do a Kill Team game for it. It's great there, too, because you can add flavor to your guys that are also fighting in your 40k campaign. That's when you can start naming sergeants.
Oh, yeah.
That's when you can start customizing models with new paint jobs and new war gear and everything else.
Oh, yeah. Scratch that Necromunda itch.
Ooh.
Like, I love, I have an Orc Guard Boys unit that I used in Kill Team sometimes too. And that's great because, like, there's all the special abilities. So you can choose 3 specialist abilities and 1 commander ability for every game. And they're a little unbalanced. Like, people are always going to take Feel No Pain plus 1 ballistic skill, but still, whatever. But because of how much potential there is for Orc conversion, like, okay, obviously the dude with Furious Charge, the guy with the big ass bayonet, the guy with plus 1 ballistic skill is the guy with a pair of gun sights glued to his gun.
Yeah.
It's got a lot of opportunity for conversions.
Right.
And if you look at back in 4th edition, when it started, you ever played the original version of Kill Team?
Yeah, that was in the rulebook. It was in the 4th edition rulebook.
Yeah, I never got the chance to because it seemed like kind of a pain in the ass for my group at the time, but that seemed like it had a lot more narrative feel to it.
Oh, I think that was probably the first game of 40k I ever played. Is I brought my Grey Knights to the Games Workshop in Springfield Mall, and I only had a squad painted, and I was like, "Hey, does anybody want to get a game of Kill Team in?" This is a 4th edition Grey Knights. I had like a guy with a Psy Cannon, a few guys with halberds and stuff. I only had like 6 guys in the Kill Team. It was a ton of fun. Yeah, I brought them in my backpack. I remember this.
That's awesome. Yeah, because like I wish I could have played that with like there are all the things in there for like brute squads and alerts and clacks encounters and shit like that, and you could only use certain units that have silenced weapons or they wouldn't have silenced weapons. That's the kind of thing like you'd want to set up ahead of time. Well, the kill team as we know it now is something you can just pick up.
That's the cool thing about kill team though, is if you want to contact your friend or your opponent before the thing and say, hey, I want to try this out. It's from the 4th edition codex or the 4th edition rule book. Maybe tweak these rules a little bit here and there and see how it works. You can be fun because you're not going to throw away 3 to 4 hours of your day on a kill team game.
Exactly.
You're going to throw away 30 to 45 minutes. It's not that much of a time investment. When you start doing experimental stuff with 40k, it can get real annoying when you're halfway through it and you're like, oh, this sucks.
Yup.
Like, that's one of the biggest critiques I have about the Battle Missions book. And I love the Battle Missions book. Of course, Battle Missions is something that was released, I want to say, in 5th edition.
It was 5th. Yeah.
Where it was a bunch of faction-specific missions. 3 missions
3 scenarios for
per faction that you could use for your games of 40k. And generally, 2 of the scenarios favored heavily the faction that they were supposed to be, and one of them was very bad for that faction. They're at a disadvantage.
Yep.
And sometimes you'd play these games, and it would just be like, man, I can't do anything against these Chaos Marines in this mission because they're all basically get shrouded. Yeah. Because they're in burning buildings, and you can't see any of them.
My favorite is was the guard one where the guard player had like the deployment zone was up to the middle of the table, and it was prepared assault, and each player got a little paper counter, and you had to stand 36 inches over the table and drop your paper counter, and where it landed, an artillery barrage hit.
Yep, a basilisk shot hit. Yeah.
Yeah,
that was I've played that one a lot.
Yeah, me too.
I have Imperial Guard Army. That one is a lot of fun.
When you have 2 guard armies fighting at each other, it's fantastic. It's just a meat grinder.
Yeah, because you get to recycle all your units. I think all your infantry units. Once they die, they just come back at the. I think it's even called meat grinder.
I think that's actually a different one, but some of that rule might still be in this one.
We're getting off topic. Let's get back to Kill Team. Like I said, Kill Team, even if you want to do experimental rules, like maybe put in some Necromunda flavors in there, like a rescue mission or an ambush, you can do that in Kill Team and not worry about wasting your entire day.
Yeah, and you can make a force bespoke for it. Like all the Blanchitsu stuff, all the Necromunda stuff, all those like cool little converted weirdo gangs and stuff, you can just make that for Kill Team. Pick up some rules that seem pretty close to it, and you're good. Like I'm working on an Inquisition sort of kill team right now. I'm just kind of taking figures left and right and converting the odd guy here and there. And I'm just going to go with the Imperial Agents book, see what I can make into a kill team, and just roll with it.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, like in an actual game of 40k, those guys would be a bunch of overcosted chumps who are fucking worthless and will just get hit by a Basilisk Shell turn 1. But in a game of kill team, they can hide and might have a chance to actually be cool, and they're modeled in a thematic way, so giving them a specialist ability makes sense.
Yeah, that sounds like a really good idea. So earlier we mentioned how Kill Team is a really good way to get into the hobby with a small force, and you can play organized games with your friends. But the question that was brought together on the Something Awful forums today, which I thought was a really compelling question, and it's, is it a good time right now to get into the Warhammer 40k hobby? And I don't think this is a yes or no answer. I think this is a complicated discussion. Maybe not a super complicated discussion, but I think it's worth a discussion to talk about what's going on in 40K right now and how it looks for us veteran players looking out, from the inside looking out. What I'd like to do is I would like to, both of us, to take a side, if that's okay. And I'm willing to take the it is not a good time to get into the hobby right now.
All right.
So, I'm going to go first.
Okay.
I think right now, if we're going to buy, sell, or hold getting into 40K, I think you're at an easy hold right now and a possible sell. Don't do it. Because, Campbell, the game is a complete fucking mess. You know,
you're not wrong.
We last episode, we talked about this Apocalypse game, and we complained a lot more after the show when our call continued, but we complained a lot about formations, and specifically how the demon formations for Apocalypse are super fucking powerful, while the Imperial formations are garbage. And right now, the formations completely, in my opinion, unbalanced the game.
Yeah.
The best example of this is that fucking Skyhammer Annihilation Force.
I was glad that was on our side.
Yes, it's a great formation when you have it, but when you're going up against it, it's fucking, you can't do anything to it. It's like, oh, it's turn one, my best fucking shit comes in, they're all twin linked, you can't do anything about it, and they fuck up your entire army. Good for you. Thanks, buddy. It's you combine formations with things like codex creep and the differing levels and power of certain codexes. The Tau Codex, the Eldar Codex, extremely good. The Marine Codex, extremely good. The Orc Codex, the Tyranid Codex, garbage. Hot fucking garbage. When I was up in Boston in October, we played a game of your orcs versus your Valhallans, then I was piloting your orcs.
Yep.
And I've never played orcs before, and I found it so hard to do the things that I wanted to do as an orc player, which is get my guys into combat. It was so difficult.
Yeah, there were so many rules acting against you from your own codex.
Right. So the psychic phase is another thing that I hate about 40k right now. It takes forever. It adds an extra 10 minutes onto every turn. And if somebody's got like a demon army or a fucking Tyranid army with a bunch of flying fucking Hive Tyrants, and it's like, oh, I've got a bunch of fucking shit, all with different fucking psychic powers. There's shit going on everywhere. I have to remember everything. I have to write everything down. God, it's such a fucking pain in the ass to play against that. And then, you know what? That brings up another point. The flying Hive Tyrants. I don't have a problem with flying Hive Tyrants, but every time you play a Tyranid player, if you're at a tournament or you're at a campaign or something, they've got 3 fucking flying Hive Tyrants going around because that's the only way that they're a good army right now. And Jesus,
sad but true.
Fuck, is it annoying. So, again, listeners, I'm taking a side here. I'm taking the side that it is not a good time to get into the hobby. So these are somewhat exaggerated feelings I have, but I think they're all reasonable arguments. And for my last argument, there's a new edition on the horizon. We don't know what's going to be in this edition. We don't know how it's going to look out. There's a lot of fear on the internet about they're going to turn it into Age of the Emperor, which of course is aping off of Age of Sigmar in fantasy, where they completely blew up the game, got rid of some factions, or at least like really depowered some factions, Bretonnians, for example. Mm-hmm. And there's fear that that's going to happen to 40k, and we don't know if that's the case. We've got the Eldari coming out. We've had the Triumvirate of the Imperium, which looks like a more joining forces of the Imperium, picking and choosing from all the vast range of Imperium units to make an army. Maybe the Eldar are going to go the same way. Maybe Chaos is going to go the same way. We don't know how it's going to look out. So if you're trying to figure out what army you want to play today in Warhammer 40,000, maybe it's not the best time because you don't know what it's going to look like in a few months when they drop 8th edition. Now, I don't know what 8th edition, when it's going to drop or what exactly it's going to entail. I actually haven't heard that much about it, but from the rumor mill of the internet, but it's going to change things, right? It's got to.
Yeah, it can't not.
So
otherwise, what's the point?
I want you to contradict me, Campbell. I want you to tell me I'm wrong, and I want you to give me some good evidence as to why I'm wrong.
All right. So I'll say, for someone new getting into the game, with this daunting universe, this daunting setting, these daunting armies, I feel like now if you're getting into the game, this is exactly what Kill Team is here for. You can get a grip on the game, on the hobby, on the universe, without putting in a big investment in time or money. And if you want to expand that Kill Team a little bit, you can. You could maybe get a few squads and maybe get all the way up to like a 500-point game by the time 8th edition drops, which is rumored to be in the summer, but...
it might drop before Nova?
Ooh, maybe.
Oh, that might fuck up some shit for Nova.
Yeah, the rumors I heard were like between June and August, I think.
Oh, wow.
But then again, it's internet rumors, and 40k editions have always dropped in the summer, so that's just going on what I've seen in history.
Hope the Nova guys got their fucking ducks in a row.
Yeah,
just kidding. I know they do.
Wink. So, And I would say it would be pertinent to limit your investment in things that you know will not be good. So rule books, codexes, and stuff like that. Like I personally, I want to read that Gathering Storm stuff, but I know in 6 to 7 months, maybe more, there's a good chance it might not be pertinent. So
that is why I asked you at the top of the show to ballpark Gathering Storm for me.
Yeah,
because I'm not going to buy any of that stuff.
No, because if you want to get into the hobby, you just have to be smart with what you're buying. Beyond that, you can probably read the tea leaves into what happened with Age of Sigmar and figure what might happen to 40k in relation to that. Rules-wise, Age of Sigmar's major push was to simplify things and make it easier to get into and make it more approachable. I can see the same thing happening to 40k. The fluff doesn't seem like it's going to be as affected as much, and in the case of armies like Bretonnians and Tomb Kings and these like long neglected armies that went at multiple editions without getting any attention whatsoever, really for 40k the only equivalent to that is Sisters of Battle, and they just got their main character done in plastic. So who knows? And there's frequent teases that they'll do plastic sisters in the future. So because the 40k armies tend to get more regular attention than some of the fantasy armies did, because there aren't quite as many of them, I don't think anything's getting squatted. So your box of Tactical Marines, your box of Cadians, your box of Orcs, those are still going to be just as usable in 8th edition. I guarantee that.
Did you say swatted or squatted?
Squatted.
Oh, okay, as in squats in 40k.
Yes.
How they got eaten by Zotes, and then Zotes got eaten by Tyranids?
Yeah, I thought they were just eaten by Tyranids, but either way.
They gone.
Although they're still in the 6th edition rulebook, and the fluff for abhumans, they actually call it Adeptus, or was it Homo Rotundus or something like that? Homo sapiens Rotundus.
That was my nickname in college.
Jesus.
Whatever. The squats are the Demiurge, and the Demiurge exist at least in the Battlefleet Gothic area.
Exactly. So I'd say now is a firm hold, but a soft yes on getting into the hobby. There are enough approachable ways to get into it with things like Kill Team. There is enough information out there for anyone who wants to catch up on the fluff or catch up on anything between the official channels, between forums, between Wikipedias and so on. I'd say limit your investment a bit, but get as much as makes sense for you. Like it takes a while to build and paint these models anyway. So
takes some of us a lot longer than others.
True. So if in 6 months your whatever start collecting box is painted up and you find the new game looks great, cool, you've got a paying force for it already. If you don't, 40k models have tended to keep their value pretty reliably all the way through history. Like the models I bought from that are like old school models from the 90s, they still went for a decent amount of money. Like as long as they're not painted like total shit. No, I'd say it's safe enough to get into it, because if you do want to get out of it, it's not that hard, and you're not sunk and you don't sink yourself in too deep, you should be fine. And if you want to stay into it, awesome, cool, you got your foot in the door for a new edition. And I mean, Age of Sigmar, they learned a lot from it. Like it's pretty clear they did when they put out the General's Handbook, where they talked to people from the community and tournament organizers and tournament players to basically be like, how can we make this game work? And I would be surprised if they haven't done something similar for the 40k rules already.
Well, we're picking sides here for the sake of the argument. And little spoiler here, I would recommend that if somebody's interested in playing 40k, giving it a shot. The new models that they've been putting out are just so fucking cool. Belisarius Call, I mean, come on.
Hell yeah.
That model is gorgeous. The start collecting boxes, I think, are a really cool way to get into it too, and get used to your faction and how they build up and paint up. I think we're in a good spot, but there are a lot of fucked up things about the game.
There are. I love this game wholeheartedly, but I'm aware it has a lot of flaws, and I'm hoping 8th edition will fix some of them. So I don't think it'll fix all of them.
So I have a follow-up question for you, and it's how would you introduce a new player to the game?
Kill Team. Have them get a start collecting box and build a Kill Team out of it. And then if they want to build up, they already have a few models in that box they could use for a bigger game. And from there, yeah.
And I would piggyback onto that. If you are a new player, try to cultivate some relationships with the people that play the game in your area at whatever game store you're at, or if you go to Games Workshop, because people would love to help you increase your collection, get more into the game with knowledge about fluff or tactics or whatever else. We love to talk about this game. That's why we do this fucking podcast, is because Campbell and I love talking about 40K, and we want to do it more. So we're always ready. If you're a new player, feel free to get at. I have to imagine pretty much anybody, any community that this 40K exists is more than willing to say, "Hey, come on, man, let's grab some beers or something and play some 40K."
Yeah, the people who play this game, by and large, are very, very enthusiastic about it, and they'll be more than happy to get you into it.
And hey, if you're a new player in the DC area or the Boston area, and you want to play a game against either one of us, or if you're an old player, fuck it, who cares? Contact at 40kbadcast.com. And
we are here to play games with you. Meet strange men from the internet and lose against them. Or win against them.
Well, it's us.
You'll probably win against them.
So they'll win. Yeah. Also, I have a few armies.
Oh yeah.
So do you. So that's that's how I would do it. I'd say, hey, you're interested in 40K? Well, let's set up a small point, maybe not a kill team, but maybe like a 500 point game. I've got these Marines. You can use my Imperial Guard, and we'll just see what you like. See if it's fun to you.
Yeah, I've played plenty of games that way where I've just been like, hey, here's a few points of my stuff, here's a few points of my other army, and we'll just play a quick game with each other. And if you like it, you like it. Or you'll play my orcs, and after hour 3, be like, fuck, when is this over?
Yeah, and well, it was also, that was kind of late at night, and we were both tired.
It was like late at night on a weeknight.
Yeah, and I had to stay up the whole night, the next night for some work shit. It was brutal. It was not a great couple of days for old Danny B. Okay, so before we close out the show, we have an announcement to make, a very important announcement to make, and it's our first Badcast contest that we're running, and it's called the Fanfiction Challenge.
So in the Fanfiction Challenge, it is up to you, dear listeners, to write a piece of fanfiction for the show.
Yes!
The topic is everyone's favorite Space Marine, Biff Tundrish.
Biff! He's back!
In this story, you may remember in Space Marine, he got proper biffed at the end of the book. It is up to you to have a story, no more than a page on, Google Docs, MS Word, what have you.
We don't want to read that much.
No, we don't want to read that much. In which Tundrish gets biffed.
And what does biff mean? That's up to you.
It's like Smurf. You can use it wherever you want. The deadline is 4 weeks from now. So the next episode, we will be mentioning this again. So you can have 2 more weeks to catch up if you either missed this episode or you really want to get pencil to paper and write a story about how Tundrish gets himself biffed. Entries need to be in by February 19th. The winning entries will each choose our favorite ones, and we'll read them loud in the show.
We sure will. And we'll do voices.
We have to do voices. It's part of the charm.
If you want to write in some orc characters to hear our supremely awesome orc voices like from last episode, I think that's a great idea.
I can't say no.
It's fantastic. So again,
where does it need to send in?
You send it in to contact@40kbadcast.com with the word Biff, BIFF, in the subject line, so we know that it's a entry into the Fanfiction Challenge, the Biff Tundrish Fanfiction Challenge. And again, 1 page long. Main character needs to be Biff Tundrish. Tundrish has to get biffed at some point. What's biffed mean? It's up to you. And I believe there's bonus points to be given out if it's in Scumnick. Is that how you say it?
Scumnick, which if at some point, if Biff has a speaking role, he speaks in Scumnick, which is his kind of Droog-esque dialect he speaks in Space Marine by Ian Watson.
I'm going to put you on the spot because I don't know what fucking Scumnick is, but you do. So why don't you give us some Scumnick, Campbell? Making podcasts is hard work because you don't know what the fuck the other person's gonna say. Sometimes he's like, hey man, what's up? And other times he's like, read from this book, you motherfucker. And we didn't prepare for this.
Oh God, I just found the part in the book where they actually read out his stats. Like his 40k stats.
Wait, in the book?
Yeah, psychosis level 0.42, psychic profile 0.01, ocular reflex, intelligence, ballistic skill.
Ian Watson!
I got it.
Okay.
Big man says, you give him nommons of the Emp. Biff puzzled his brains. He thunk fast. The Emp was the Emp, Natch. Tex worshipped the Emp. Even Scum swore by the Emp. On occasion, mostly they just swore. The Emp was Mega Boss God. Yet who was the Emp? Where was the Emp? Everywhere. Nowhere. Somewhere? Not here. Emp's Nommans is bigger than you. Emp's Nommans is deaf.
Okay, so Scumnick, there you have it, folks. That's Scumnick. That's the fan fiction challenge. Biff, send your emails with Biff in the subject to contact@40kbadcast.com to submit your entries. We also have another announcement. It's for next show. We are reviving the 40k book club.
And we're doing it proper this time.
Yes, we're both going to read the same book and give you guys a chance to read the book too, so you can follow along with us. And the book we are reading is called 15 Hours by Mitchell Scanlon.
And what is this book about, Dan?
This book is about the length of time an Imperial Guardsman survives for when they get to a certain war zone. So the setting, the planet that they're on, it's a big trench warfare fiesta against orcs. And 15 hours is the average lifespan of a guardsman.
That sounds metal as hell, and that sounds like peak 40k.
This is my favorite 40k book. I think the best one that I've ever read. It's extremely good. It's extremely tight. It's only about 200 pages long, and it's just grim and gross and mean.
Dude, I'm looking forward to it.
It's really good. Now, Mitchell Scanlon has also written other Black Library novels, such as Descent of Angels, the Horus Heresy novel about fucking Knights of the Round Table, because that's what I want in my goddamn space wizard novels, is a bunch of fucking knights going after dragons. And of course, talking about the history of the Dark Angels, the second shittiest chapter of Space Marines of all time, behind, of course, the Emperor's Children.
Where do Lamenters fit in that list?
Lamenters? Oh, aren't those the fuckfaces who just keep getting fucked up at every opportunity?
And do everything wrong, and they might all be dead.
Aren't they have like yellow armor with like checks on it?
With checkerboards and a bleeding heart.
Yeah, I like those guys. I think that's cool. Yeah, way better than fucking Dark Angels. Anyways, 15 hours in 2 weeks. Next episode. Read it. Mitchell Scanlon. You'll enjoy it. Trust me. All right. We're getting to the end here, and it's time for Fact or Fanfiction. Campbell, give me something good, please.
Well, given our previous conversation, we were going to have a thing about Primarchs this episode, but we found some more interesting topics. But I decided to still keep it in the Primarch line. So
my body is ready.
This is from a story central around Lehman Russ. Where is Naruto Uzumaki? Russ shouted. The growing crowd of ninjas and civilians stared at him. Unsure of what to make of the giant, armored man that was speaking a language none of them knew, the ninjas had yet to make any move against him, as he had yet to make any hostile move. And, until the Hokage arrived, they weren't going to make the first move. Well, where is Naruto Uzumaki? Lehman was beginning to feel like a fool. He had been shouting at these people for over 5 minutes now, and the boy had yet to show, nor any of these people doing anything. Come on, damn it! I'm getting bored! He shouted. If you're not going to get me Uzumaki, then some fight me or something! At that very moment, Uzumaki and that pink-haired girl appeared. Naruto stared at the giant, clad in gray, unlike anything he had ever seen. It was covered in various totems, animal teeth and claws, wolf icons and the like. The man had a long, wild mane of reddish-brown hair, with 2 braided ponytails framing his face. The man had a wild face with fangs. At last! Come! Fight me, Uzumaki!
Hey, Naruto, Kiba said. You know this guy?
No, I've met this guy in my life, he said, staring at the large man. Why are you asking me about him? He looks more like someone you know. Russ marched up on the group, and in one quick motion, he grabbed Naruto by the collar. Why? Let me go! He shouted, thrashing about in the man's arm. Suddenly, something powerful hit his waist, denting his armor and causing him to stumble back. Naruto slipped from his grasp. It was the girl. A little girl had dented his armor with just a punch. Maybe there was something to these people. Sakura winced in pain. She had broken some of the bones in her hand with that punch, but at least the giant had let go of Naruto.
That was the worst thing I've ever heard.
It is from Legion... Oh, shit. Fact or Fanfiction.
It's fucking fanfiction. Fucking whatever weeby bullshit is in that. That's not... Oh my god.
So it is called Legion of Shadows by Akatsuki Leader 13. So it gets better.
I hate you for making me listen to that.
It gets better and worse.
Oh man.
So first of all, It centers on the 11th Primarch and the 11th Legion. You know, the lost one?
Oh, no.
The 11th Primarch is found dead as an infant on this planet, so the people reverse engineer the Primarch's DNA, mix in the DNA of their greatest shinobi, and then impregnate the shinobi's wife. And that baby is Naruto, whose DNA is so powerful that it allows for female space marines.
Oh.
Primarch Naruto rules over the shinobi worlds, and somehow the Emperor is okay with all of this. On the bright
I'm
side,
pretty sure the Emperor would not be okay with any of this.
he would not be into Weeby bullshit. But on the bright side, Russ does backhand almost everybody the Naruto cast so hard that some of them break their ankles. He also backhands a grandma. He just backhands everybody.
That was terrible. I really hate that. Okay, let's get out of here before I throw up. Thanks for listening. Episode 3, 40k Badcast. Please go on iTunes. Give us a fucking rating. I don't care if it's good or bad. Subscribe, please. Tell your friends about the podcast if you have any, because we want more people to listen to it. We want to spread the word. You can contact us at contact@40kbadcast.com. We don't have a Twitter yet because I'm lazy and dumb. Campbell, how can they get at you?
YouTube.com/C/Camhammer show. I have a show called Camhammer. It's good. Watch it.
It is good. I can attest to that. Haven't you recently put some stuff up on eBay too?
I have. That's not really worth talking about.
Well, go to eBay and look for Campbell shit.
Yeah,
just type in Campbell shit right at the search bar. You'll find it. It's great.
You'll find a bunch of used anime DVDs.
All right, give us a fucking inspirational quote and we'll get out of this motherfucker.
Pain is temporary. Honor is forever.
You know that's right. This is the 40k Badcast. I'm Dan Boyd. That's Campbell McLudafisk. And we'll see you next time.